Good evening, I'm Praram Vadahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Implementation of the constitution remains poor because of failure of leaders who contributed in its development. Achievements of popular movement and struggle in promulgation of constitution at risk of being forgotten. Victims of fraud related to cooperatives demand return of their savings, and actions against those guilty identified in the report of the Parliamentary Special Proof Committee suggest confiscating properties of operators as well. Industries of Jharpa and Morang shut in absence of clear policies. Jobs of thousands of workers at risk. Problems surface as produced goods have struggled in finding market. And Nepal Police Club secured their third successive win at the Kawa Women's Volleyball Club Championship. Thrash VC Diamond of Tajikistan in straight sets. 9 years have gone by since the promulgation of the Constitution of the Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal on the 20th of September 2015. The Constitution has assured federal political mechanism and established secularism. Having respected the principle of inclusivity, the Constitution has ensured the rights of the public. Nepali nationals had to make a huge sacrifice to promulgate the Constitution through the joint movement of the several political parties and then agitating Maoists. The Royal Massacre on the 1st of June 2001 saw then-King Birendra Shah's family killed and led to then-King Gyanendra's coup, which led the foundation for the second popular movement of 2006 in Nepal. Gyanendra's actions united political parties who had lost public faith and the Maoists who were seeking a route to mainstream politics. The political parties joined the civic movement, which lasted for 19 days with 26 martyrs, and forced Gyanendra to bow down to the public demand and reinstate the House of Representatives. Maoists then laid their arms and doors were opened for the election of the Constituent Assembly following the comprehensive peace accord. With the Maoists joining the interim parliament and the government, the first Constituent Assembly election was held by late Girija Prasad Koirala-led government in 2008. The Maoists received a surprising public vote, winning 120 among 240 seats in the direct election and became the largest party, including the proportionate category. Nepali Congress became the second party, while CPI-UML were the third entity at the 601-member Constituent Assembly. However, with many disputes among the parties at the CA, which was elected for 2 years, it was dissolved after failing to promulgate a constitution even in the period of 4 years. During this period, 4 governments were formed under the leadership of Pushpa Kamal Dahal, Madhav Kumar Nepal, Jhalanath Khanal and Baburam Bhattarai. The parties failed to promulgate a constitution and became prepared for the second CA election by forming a government under the leadership of a political individual. The parties headed for the second CA election by forming a council of ministers led by then Supreme Court Chief Justice Khilaraj Regmi. Regmi-led government was assigned 1-year term to hold the election. The status of political parties changed from the second Constituent Assembly election held in 2013. Maoists were restricted to third, while Nepali Congress emerged the largest, followed by CPI-UML. The Constitution of Nepal was promulgated from the second Constituent Assembly on the 20th of September 2015 by the government led by then Nepali Congress President Sushil Koirala. Despite some reservations, then President Ram Baran Yadav issued the Constitution, saying that it was based on the public sentiments. Back then, CA members from Madheshi Janadhikar Forum expressed their disapproval of the Constitution and did not sign in its favor. Political equations changed immediately after the promulgation of the Constitution, and CPI-UML chair KP Sharma Oli became the Prime Minister. Despite disagreements with the Constitution, Madhe Center parties gradually started joining the government. However, problems surfaced in the implementation of the Constitution because of lack of commitment of the leaders who played important parts in its promulgation. The generation born after the popular movement of 2006 is now young. This generation is unaware about the struggle for development of the Constitution. With the political parties always prioritizing power, they have failed in making the young generation understand the achievements of the popular movements. The political parties, civic society, media and the public had equal contributions for the promulgation of the Constitution. However, remembering those contributions is not adequate. It is imperative to ensure the complete implementation of the Constitution by ensuring its supremacy for economic prosperity of the country. Only then will the young generation play its part in making the Constitution acceptable by understanding its significance and the struggle behind its development. The Special Parliamentary Committee formed to probe into the cooperatives fraud case has not just identified those involved in the irregularity, but has also made recommendations on how the government can return the fund of the victims. The committee probed into 40 cooperatives and submitted its report, where it has suggested for 2 ways moving forward. Victims have expressed hope of getting their lost money back, but at the same time are doubtful if the government will be able to implement the recommendations. The special committee has suggested the government to raise the needed fund to return to the victims by using the institutional properties of the cooperatives. The other suggestion has been to freeze the properties of the faulty operators and sell them if and when needed in order to return the money of the victims. The committee has also suggested for a mechanism that can take responsibility of such assets and determine the amount that the victims need to receive depending upon priorities and available resources. In the second phase, in case of selling of such properties falls short, the committee has suggested to use personal assets of both kinds of the operators, their family members and anyone involved to make up for it. The government has so far formed 9 commissions and committees to resolve the issue related to cooperatives. However, none of the recommendations so far have been implemented. The government has determined 22 cooperatives as crisis-ridden, while more than 350 cooperatives have been struggling to return the money of their depositors. It has been estimated that billions of rupees have been abused through all of these cooperatives. Many operators of these faulty cooperatives have absconded. In our Public Voice segment, we have asked how confident are they on the return of the savings of the victims of cooperatives. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
संसदमा पेश भइसकेपछि यो कानुनी प्रक्रियामा अगाडि बढ्छ त्यसैले हामी आशावादी छौं र यो समस्याको छिटै समाधान हुनुपर्छ।
निर्णय गरेर मात्रै पैसा त आउँदैन, तर त आधारको लागि मान्छेलाई ल्याउने कारबाही गर्ने अथवा के गरेर हुन्छ त्यसलाई पक्रेर कसले खाछन् हैन। अब यो रकम कहाँसम्म पुग्यो, सानो रकम छैन, सबै पीडितको पैसा निकाल्दिनु सरकारको दायित्व हो।
गभर्नमेन्टले आफ्नो इमानदारीता हेरायो भने हामीले पैसा पाउने हामी आशावादी छौं। अब गभर्नमेन्टले चाहदैन भने पाउन धेरै गाह्रो छ।
सरकारी पीडितहरु सबैले विश्वास छ,
विश्वास त छ, के न के हुन्छ। कार्यान्वयन गर्ने त सरकारको हो नि त, सरकारले नगरे पनि के गर्ने, त्यो समितिले त केही गर्न सक्दैन।
केही पहल हुन्छ कि भन्ने आश छ।
1% पनि आशावादी छैन, किनभने यिनीहरु सबै नेताहरु फटाने हो।
आशावादी हामी हुनुपर्छ, किनकि तिर्नुपर्छ, जनताको पैसा हो।
व्यक्ति फेला पार्यो भने चाहिँ उसको प्रत्येक सम्पत्ति जति पनि उसको चाहिँ चल अचल सम्पत्तिबाट असुल गर्न आशावादी छु।
जुन सहकारीहरूले ठग्यो नि तिनीहरूलाई पनि नपक्रिएसम्म यिनीहरूले न्याय पनि पाउँदैन र यो राज्यले यसबाट छुटकारा पनि पाउँदैन।
ठुलठुला नेताहरूको क्रियाकलापहरूले नेताहरूको खाएको कारणले गर्दा यो फिर्ता हुन्छ भन्ने आशावादी छैन।
पाउन पनि गाह्रै होला जस्तो छ।
जनताले दुःखले पसिनाले कमाएको पैसा फिर्ता पाउनुपर्छ।
It is now time for our segment Public Polls, where you text us with your opinion.
Public polls.
Before we ask today's question, let us take a look at the result from yesterday's poll. Yesterday we had asked, what should be the priority for the implementation of the report of the Parliamentary Special Proof Committee on the fraud of cooperatives? 26% were for A, improved laws and policies, 12% were for B, police investigation, and 62% were for C, return savings of the victims. And here is our today's question. Why have Nepali movies not received adequate viewers? Your options are A, low quality, B, no trust among the viewers, and C, poor technology and production. The voting is on. Type NAWS, select your option A, B or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. It is now time for a short break, but for more news, do stay with us. The export of processed palm oil, sunflower oil and soybean has reduced dramatically in the last fiscal year as a result of India's decision to reduce customs tax on raw oil import. Now, industrialists back home have cut down on production by 75%, and around 4,000 employees are at the risk of losing their jobs. Last year, Nepal exported palm oil worth 892.49 million rupees, which is around 90% less than the previous year, where palm oil worth 9,403.94 million rupees was exported. The exports of processed soybean oil have also dropped from 3,100 million rupees to 745.4 million rupees, which is a reduction of 76%. Likewise, the export of processed sunflower oil reduced to 8,000 from 94.518 million rupees the previous year.
2.5 करोडको जनसंख्यामा त्यहाँ खपत पनि कम छ र हामी विगत 1.5-2 वर्षदेखि हामी अन्डर क्यापेसिटीमै चलिरहेको हामी के सबै उद्योग नै अन्डर क्यापेसिटीमा चलिरहेछ महिनाको हप्ता 10 दिन मात्र हामी प्लान्टहरु चलाएर अहिले बसिरहेको छौं अब त्यो पिरियडमा रिक्वायरमेन्ट म्यान पावरको कम हुन्छ म्यान पावर पनि कटौती भएको छ प्लान्ट चलाउने मान्छेहरुलाई पनि हामीले हटाउनु परिरहेछ
There are 8 oil industries in the Sunsari-Morang Industrial Corridor and 26 across the country. These industries, built in over 40 billion rupees investment, have directly employed more than 4,000. India previously took 35% customs tax on import of raw palm oil and soybean oil, while Nepal had to pay just 10% taxes on imports of raw oil. On top of that, the government had taken off 9% on the taxes, which had encouraged industries to import oil from Malaysia, among other countries, and export to India. However, the government of India's decision to reduce customs tax on raw oil has reduced the demand for processed oil from Nepal.
घट्नु मुख्य कारण चाहिँ भारतले पैठारी गर्दाखेरि जुन लगाउने दर थियो भन्सारो दर थियो उसैले कम गरिदिएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि हाम्रोबाट निकासी भएर जाने भन्दा उसकोमा अन्य मुलुकबाट इम्पोर्ट गरेर आउँदाखेरिको मूल्य कम्पिटिटिभ भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हाम्रोबाट निकासी घटेको भन्ने आम नेपालका उद्योगीहरुको भनाइ पनि छ त्यो सत्य पनि हो
Now, India's customs tax on raw oil has been maintained at 5.5% this year. On top of dramatic reduction on export of processed oil, industrialists say they are struggling to sell their produce even in the domestic market due to illegal imports. The government has announced plans to revive ailing and closed industries through new policies and has added that feasibility studies are underway. However, despite over half a dozen major industries in Zappa, once key contributor to the economy remaining closed, the government attention remains to be drawn for their revival. Momento Apparels Private Limited in Vadrapur, once Asia's second largest garment industry, has been closed for 13 years. And before it shut down, the factory employed 4,000 workers and exported ready-made garments to the United States of America. Its closure did not only see the workers losing their jobs, but has also put a loan of 29 million rupees from the Rashtriya Bhanisya Bank at risk. Despite several rounds of talks with the government for revival of the garment industry with sole proprietorship of former FNCCI President Chandiraj Rakhal, positive talks have yet to be produced. Only the remains of Mechi Solvent Plant, Kamdhenu Feeds, Kamdhenu Hatchery and Shakti Cellar Rice Mill established 50 years ago exist now. Operator of these factories, Binod Kanu, has already sold the machineries at scrap value to pay off the loans. Luna Chemical Fertilizers, which was established 22 years ago, was shut after barely operating for 15 days. Operator of the entity built over 4 bighas of land. Ashok Subba, a resident of Sikkim, is out of contact. In addition to these entities, around half a dozen cement industries and tea factories of Zappa had already shut down. Industrialists have shared their grievances, saying they are having to face the situation because of unstable government and lack of clear policies. Officials of the FNCCI have said that declaring these entities as ailing industries and providing some subsidy would create ease in inviting foreign investors. The Ministry of Industries has already formed a committee to revive the ailing industries. However, industrialists are concerned about if the committee will be limited to simply furnishing its report. We have more news coming up, but right now it is time for yet another short break.
Sports News.
Nepal Police Club have secured their third successive win at the Kava Women's Volleyball Club Championship. In the match played at the Youth Center Indoor Hall in Malé of the Maldives, Nepal Police Club thrashed VC Diamond of Tajikistan in straight sets. Nepal Police were dominant from the early phase of the match and won it 25-15, 25-12, 25-14. Prior to this, the departmental team had also secured straight set wins in their previous matches against Humo Club of Uzbekistan and Sri Lanka Air Force. Police will next play Club Wamko of the Maldives on Thursday. Group matches of the tournament conclude this Friday. That is all for the moment. Up next is the news in Nepali. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye for now.